you went in this gratitude state, you started to heal. Did you, when you're going through this thing and you're observing your own consciousness. So there's the observer of what's going on. And then there's the ego that's, making the decisions and the willpower and all that. And, what was the shift? Like you said, the gratitude was the shift. Then what happened next?
Well, here's what, the gratitude and the appreciation. And here's the way I'll describe it. Up until that point, I don't think I really cared enough to do anything. There's a certain willpower, there's certain activation energy that you need to, initiate any process. There's a certain level that you need to attain, and I don't think I was there.
Yeah.
And up until that point, I think just like anyone else, I was always worried about getting sick, and I was always worried about dying. Just like anybody else. Like you consider yourself kind of floating along at a certain level, and any illness is a negative, right? And I thought, well, what's the positive of life? I thought going from nothing to something when I was born, that's an infinite amount of a life, whatever that inflection is. So I realized that from no matter where I was alive, and it was just a minor deflection of illness, and I was far from being dead. And so being alive was like flying. I realized even though I was flying in a fog, I was indeed flying. I was off the ground. Didn't matter how far off the ground I was, and didn't matter how far everyone else is flying. I was there. I was part of life. And if I just continued like this, I realized my body was still kind of healthy. And so to live like this for another 40 or 50 years of just blah, I realized right then and there, I was happy to be alive. Yeah. I would rather be alive than dead. Like I put it this way, up until that point, I imagined letting go and something just taking me. But other than that, I couldn't imagine actually dying. So I said, okay, I made that decision right then and there. Like, okay, stop thinking about dying. That's ridiculous. Like, that's not really an option. And then living like this for the next 40 or 50 years is also not an option.
So you found your why. You found your why. You went, okay, enough is enough, and I'm going to get out of this. So I know my own personal journey. There was a time in my life where I heard this little voice that said, "You got to feel the pain to make the change," and that following that little voice, which was the voice of courage at the time. My own inner guidance, that's transformed everything in my life, right? Everything. So, I've learned how to use pain to change my life. Pain meaning, if I want to build muscle, it's going to be painful. I got to go to the gym and go do that. Doesn't feel great, but that's what changes everything. Got to feel the pain to make the change. And, so I can go on that.